Hello, hello, hello. This is Els coming from Beam's Crafty Corner. And I have a question. Do you have a ton of these and no idea what you're supposed to do with them? Because let's face it, they are too small to be used as a page. You could add them to, something as an accent on a side or something, like a tag or something like that. But, that's pretty much the end of it. I have a project today that's going to make this into something a little bit different, okay? So, I'm going to get out some supplies. And I'm not showing you this one because this one's going to be a surprise. I'm going to get out some supplies and I will be right back. Well, alrighty. This is a big list of stuff, okay? But it's all little stuff. Corner rounder, totally optional, but you might want it. Some paper clips, okay? Remember, I use these owl eye ones because a paper clip is a spring, so it's going to have, and so this has less pokey areas, so I prefer those. Some of these things that we all have a stack of that we don't know what to do with. Some scrap paper, ink and a dauber, a pair of scissors could be helpful here. Also a paper trimmer. And then, some little bits and pieces, these are those. And this is just my collection of, digital ones that I've gotten and cut up over the years. And then, of course, some adhesive. So, this is for the very, very end. Move it out of the way. This you only need if you're going to use it. Move it out of the way. Adhesive out of the way. Scissors out of the way. You are going to want a bone folder too. Okay? So let's get this. So what we want here is strips. So if you have strips, this is a great way to get rid of some of them. And what we're looking for is about 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch strips. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these real quick so that we can work through this process. And I'm going to do some like 1 3/4. So I got a couple of those. Get this out of our way. And we are going to get started. I'm going to get everything set up and I'll be right back. Alright, so something I did forget to mention. You do want to make sure that the paper you're using is at least as wide as your doily is. And the doilies that work best for this are the ones that have, a solid edge on here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to ink them. Now, we may have to do a little more inking later, but for now, we're just going to ink kind of the long edges. You don't really need to ink the short ones at this point. You'll see. All right. Then we're going to take this and we're going to put glue on the back of it. If you want to protect your work surface, that would probably be a good idea. So, seeing that I've said that, where is my silicone mat? Ow. Here it is. Okay, I got it. So I'm going to put this down. Okay. Glue on here. Doily. And I'm going to try and pick like a top and bottom. And I'm going to put this on there. Okay. I'm going to set that to the side, let it dry. I'm going to do the second one. Just so we have two to work with, Dinky dinky doo. Dinky 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 doo. Okay. Bring over the second one. Again, glue. Alright. Gluey, gluey, glue. Find me a top and a bottom. I'm going to try and get this in between those. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so I'm going to let these completely dry, and then I'm going to come back. We're going to move on to the next step. I'll be right back. So for the next step, get out your scissors. Turn it over. And you're going to remove all the paper on the outside of the doily. Now, don't worry if you snip a little bit of the doily at this point. Nobody's going to see this part. Okay? We're going to do that on both sides. And I'm going to do it to both of them. It does not have to be perfect. Do not beat yourself up if it is not perfect. Okay, so now we're going to come in and ink these ends. If you want to ink your doily, do that as well. You could do that by putting it on a silicone mat or, you know, a piece of plastic, whatever, and going over it with the dauber just lightly, and that's going to kind of vintage it up for you. But be careful because you could tear it because, you know, doilies are cheap and they're very difficult, notoriously difficult to work with. All right, so now the next part of this is to fold this in half. And you are going to try and fold so that your paper lines up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but close enough, you know what I mean? And then just bone fold that real quick and go ahead and ink your crease. Now, this is entirely up to you if you want to use both sides. You could use both sides of the doily, but here's the thing. I find that having both sides of the doily is a little bit it's a little bit cumbersome, and you have to, you know, be careful on both sides. So what I do is I whack this off. Just chop that off of there. Okay? So that, I don't know what you can do with it. Put it on the side of a tag. So you end up with a piece that looks like this. It's got a little flap in the back and doily in the front. We're going to do the same thing one more time with this one. I'm just going to be folding this in half, kind of lining up, you know, my sides, just like that. Decide which one I like. That one's a little longer, so I'm going to get rid of the short one on the back. Just like that. And I'm going to ink this top piece where I've put my fold. Okay? So that is the end of that. I am going to clean up my mess, get rid of these scraps of doily and other pieces of paper, and I will be right back, and we're going to move on to the next part. Be right back. Okay, so now you do have two options here. One, you can do this as a hidden paper clip, in which case you would put your paper clip on there and you would cover this up, you know. Or if you want to do this kind of like we do the little envelope note things, and you have some decorative paper clips, then just, you know, don't worry about it. Put it on there and keep it there while you decorate, so that you know where it's going to be and that you can get it on and off of there. Okay, so we're going to do one each way. I'm going to do one as a hidden paper clip, and then I'm going to do one as a with a fancy paper clip. Okay, so we're going to get those out of the way for the moment. And now we have paper clips. Now, at this point, this will stick to a page. So, we're going to get started with some decorating. I'll get some pieces and parts out and some things and some ink and things. You know, all the garbage. And we'll get this done. I'll be right back. All right, so I have some lace. And I have a lot of little bits and pieces. Even some of that guy's stuff. I do have some of these that are like stickables, but we're not going to be using these too much, because this is not really a stickable type project. It's more of a glue it down kind of project. Okay, so you can use whatever adhesive you want for putting on the lace. I will either use 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac, one or the other, and if I'm gluing these to that, I will of course use that same glue, uh, just because it adheres better. But other than that, I'm just going to be using my regular or glitter glue. Okay, so first things first, do I want to put some lace on here? If I want to put some lace on here, I'm going to pick some out. We have this one, which we can put right there. Ugh, too much. We have this one. This is a nice flat lace. I kind of like it. This one's okay. Let's check this one. This is a knit lace. Oh, definitely not. It just lays there. Whew. I'm not going to finish that statement. These are new. I just got these in. Let's take a look. Ooh, I do like that one. Okay, I'm going to use this one. I'm not even going to go any further. I'm going to use this one on this. Anyway, I don't know. I might use that one on that. But for now, I am enamored with this one. Now, this one has like little connection points on it in some places. So I'm just going to trim those off so it doesn't look, you know, so it doesn't look chintzy. Every time I work with lace, I'm reminded of people who are like, well, I only buy lace made in America. No lace is made in America, sweetie. It's too cost prohibitive to be made in the USA. It's packaged in the USA, but it's not made in the USA. All right. So let's get a little bit of our 3-in-1 here. Whew. And I'm just going to put a thin line of 3-in-1 right here, right along the edge of the paper. And then I'm going to put that back on there. And we're going to add this. Now, I'm going to let that completely dry before I trim it. But I am going to be trimming off, you know, on the edges. So, I'm going to try and get it as square as I can. Oh, I like it. And then we're going to do this other one. And this one we are going to do with, well, we just threw that paper clip on the floor. It's okay, I got some more. We're going to do it with this one. So, again, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the edge. Seriously, you give me big old boogies and then no glue? I'm telling you guys, I think I need some new 3-in-1. I'm going to have to get me a new bottle. Doo-doo-doo. The bog of eternal stench here. Alright, there we go. Whew. And then we're going to take this one and put it on here. Now, you could use white lace. I just happen to have fallen in love with 2 black ones for this. You know, two black colored ones for this one. But you can certainly use any kind of lace you want. You use flat lace, ruffled lace, whatever kind of lace. Shoot your fancy. This is not in any way a make-ahead project. Okay? I mean, you can do this base and be done, and then come back later on and use that base for something else, but really not a make-ahead project because these will get torn if you put them in your bin. Okay? So now we are going to kind of decorate these up. So, I'm going to fussy cut this little thing out because that's fun. Don't put the trash in there, duty. All right. A little bit ink. Use whatever color ink strikes your fancy. For me, it's this vintage photo walnut stain mix. I still can't believe I did that. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this. Not on the whole thing. Just on, you know, that like spot in the back, because I don't want to glue this down. I just want to glue here. And I'm just going to keep doing this with, you know, different things. Where's that box of stuff from He Who Shall Not Be Named? Here we go. Icky poo poo. Yes, that, yeah, it's icky poo poo stuff. Now, I do want this to be a little bit, you know, kind of worn out. There we go. So then I'm going to put this one on. And you'll notice I'm going right over. Go. I'm just going to build right over the paper clip. Now, if I have to put some heavier glue under there because of the paper clip, just pick it up, add some stronger, heavier glue. Now again, I'm not going to recommend hot glue for this, and I'll tell you why. Because hot glue pops. When it cools, you can pop stuff off of it. And so its holding capacity is not fantastic. Okay? Alright, so we got that. And then, let's see. Do one of these. And I'm just going to keep layering this up until I pretty much cover up the whole thing. And then on the back, if I want to cover this, I can just put like one piece on here or something, you know, maybe like that if I want it to. Or something square, you know, it doesn't matter. Maybe I want to cut this out and put that on there. Maybe I want to decorate the whole thing on the back. It is entirely up to you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get this one decorated, and I'll be back, and then we'll talk about that one. All right, so the first one is drying, and I want to talk about this one because this is the one that just has a decorative paper clip, and so we're probably going to not hide the paper clip. So I'm just going to take it off for the moment, and we are going to decorate this one pretty much the same way that we decorate the other one, except we're just going to make sure that we leave a space that the paper clip will work. Okay? So I'm going to put this one right here. Like that. Okay. Now that I have that on there, I'm going to put the paper clip on it. That's where my paper clip is going to live. All right. So now I can build around it. Let's get rid of that corner. Ink. Let's see. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like the way that that hangs down. So we're going to get rid of that. And ink that. Let's take a look. Much better. Glue. Gluing it down. There we go. Get that off of there. And then we're going to add some more stuff. Do this one. There's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just making sure that I don't lay one color, you know, repetitively on top of the other. because that would not work. Okay, and I'm letting it go up a little bit. I want it standing up. I want that dimension on there. Okay, we're going to put glue on the bottom portion of this one. And we're going to glue it on like that and let the top stand up over. And let's see what else we've got in here. Oh, we have this little round one. Let's use the little round one. Well, I can't get it out of there. How about these flowers? We'll use this little flower one. And we're going to put this right there. Not so that it interferes with the paper clip, but, you know, so that it's on there. I don't have to go all the way to the edge. I can go, you know, just little bits. It's entirely up to me. I'm going to get this out of here now because now it's a vengeance thing. Here we go. All right, where are we going to put this little booger? Right there. A little bit of glue. Putting that on there. All right, so I'm going to let this one dry. You can do the back if you want to. Totally up to you. You could just put one thing on the back if that's all you want to do. You got music on here. Maybe you just want to add one thing. Let's do that. Let's add one little thing here. What do we got? What do we got? We have... nothing I can find. I know. Let's use a word chip. Okay, here we go. We'll just grab one of these. There we go. It's already pretty much black edged, but you know, we'll make sure that we hit it. There we go. And then we're just going to put this right here. Now, if you want to know how I did these, there is a video called Word Chips. And it was a little while ago, a couple weeks, probably a week or so ago. You go back and watch that video, and it'll tell you how I did this. Now, if you want to add something else to this, by all means do so. Maybe you want to put a butterfly or a bird or something on there. Whatever it is you want to do. Depends on the page that you're working on, because not every page in a journal looks the same. I'm going to clean this mess up, and when I get back, we're going to take a look at both of these, okay? Be right back. All right, so the last little thing we have to do is to trim the lace on the edge here. Now, you could leave it there if you like that. You know, if you like that overhang, leave it. I like it to be a little cleaner, so I'm going to chop it off. I think I'm going to leave this one on there, but I'm going to get rid of this one. And there they are. You know, this is kind of a disguised paperclip. I don't know that I would call it a hidden paperclip, but it is definitely disguised. And it just slides on just like that and sits on your page. See? Just like that. And you can, of course, put things underneath it. And this one is the one that we left the paper clip out. This is an outside paper clip. It's not hidden in any way. So you can take this one and put it over there and then just pop it on. You can change out the paper clip. If you want to put it on a different one, you could move the paper clip over. Maybe you want the paper clip over there. It doesn't matter. You can move that paper clip around any place where it's, you know, not too high. You could move the paper clip. So the two different ideas, same project, but two completely different ideas. Let's put this one on over here. There we go. See that? Now we got both of them on there. Anyway, that's my idea for today. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comments section, or, you know, you could reach out on social media. All of my contact information is in the description. Don't forget to check out my Ko-Fi and my Patreon. Go on over to my Facebook group, and if you want to know what's going on here, just check the community tab. It tells you all the videos that I have coming up, all my free classes, and my regular schedule. Until the next time, stay well, my friends. I love you guys. Bye.